Okay, great. Okay, good.
Seattle Seahawks, live here on ESPN. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, on hand at the Kingdome. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Chris. This is the Kingdome in Seattle. It's the home of the Seahawks, and 65,000 fans are here tonight to watch Seattle and the Raiders, as well as a pair of the game superstars, Bo Jackson and Steve Largent. For the hired guns who would take any job and get it done. The most feared Raider is a man named Bo. Legend has it he strides into town, dons a new disguise, then strikes from any place at any time. The Seahawks have already been to the OK Corral and came away seriously wounded. Run out of the playoff race they've suffered through the season, failing to defend their AFC West crown. Though the gun was loaded, too often the Seahawks fired blanks. Shootout. The Kingdome in Seattle sold out for the Seahawks against the Raiders. For the Raiders, the road to the playoffs is simple. Win the last 2 games, earn a wild card spot, and get the home field advantage for the wild card game. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann, and welcome to Seattle. Art Shell, the Raiders coach, said he is very pleased with his team, with one exception. He needs better play out of his quarterback.
He really does, and the thing is he's been in and out with quarterbacks. Schrader played for a while. Berline is playing now. The thing about Berline is it is only his 14th start. Now, you got to remember, he's almost like a rookie in the game. He's back healthy, and he's playing better. Look for the Raiders to come out tonight, try and play their vertical game, move the ball down the field, but they certainly don't want to let this crowd into the game early, so they may be a little bit cautious.
2 weeks ago, Seattle was left for dead at 4-8, but Chuck Knox teams have never run for the bus, and they have come back the last 2 weeks with big wins.
They really have, and the key to their victories has been David Craig. Now, here's a guy who had to be sat down a few weeks ago. David Craig has had a history. They sit him down, they give him a chance to take a look at the game from a different perspective, then all of a sudden he comes back and he starts to play good football. He's played good over the last 2 weeks. They need David Craig to get on one of his streaks and finish out the season strong.
Chuck Knox in his 7th year in Seattle. He has been the coach for the club's only 4 playoff appearances in team history. He has never had a losing season here. Art Shell has turned the Raiders around 1-3 when he took over. They have won 7 of 10, including their last 3. Interesting talking to Art Shell last night, Joe. He is somebody who really listens to people. He would rather listen than talk because you learn a lot more.
Yeah, and he never says anything very loud. You sit there and, you know, you hang on every word. You know that he's going to make a point. I could see him as a coach standing up in front of a meeting, and if the players were making noise, all of a sudden when he started to open his mouth, everything would go dead silence because of the respect the players have for him.
Here's the coin toss. Fred Cashin, the referee, at midfield. One thing Shell said Friday's practice, he got on his team a little bit because they weren't practicing the way he wanted. I would not want to be in the same room if Art Shell was man.
Yeah, and you know the thing is, Mike, is I don't think he would embarrass you by yelling and screaming and going into tirades like some coaches might. Just a look that he might give you might make you feel self-conscious and say, God, I hope he doesn't look at me again like that.
Shell also said he's finally getting some leadership from his ball club. They are going to younger members of the team and saying, Coach doesn't want it that way. Coach wants it this way. So he's got leaders on the field now from this veteran club.
That's what every coach seeks. They want the players to take control of the game. All they want to do is monitor the emotions. They want to make substitutions. They want to make critical calls on downs. They don't want to handle the tempo of their ball club. They want it done by the guys in the locker room.
65,000 here tonight, and this is literally the loudest. And McElroy back with the Raiders and volunteered to play on special teams, and he's a crazy man out there. Here we go from the Kingdom. Hollis a yard deep. Got back only to the 16-yard line. Dave Craig, the Seattle quarterback, benched earlier this year. He's come back strong in the last 2 games, 4 touchdowns, nearly 600 yards. The running game has floundered, and the offensive spotlight has returned to Steve Largent. Last week, he broke one of the NFL's long-standing records he didn't already hold. The line has been inconsistent, all veterans except rookie Andy Heck, the club's #1 draft choice. Warner and Williams have been banged up at different times. When they've been healthy, the line hasn't opened the holes. John L. Williams, first carry, big hole this time, up to the 26-yard line, very close to a first down. Greg Townsend made the tackle. On defense, the Raiders are getting a big year out of Bob Golick, the Plan B free agent, second on the team in tackles. The linebackers are all veterans. They've been more aggressive under Art Shell. Jerry Robinson, the graybeard, he'll be 33 tomorrow. There have been a lot of interceptions out of the starters in the secondary. Eddie Anderson has 5. He's returned 2 of them, 4 touchdowns. Chuck Knox teams have always wanted to establish the run. They face second and a foot here. Williams with Warner in front of him. First down across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Lyndon King in on a tackle along with Scott Davis.
Well, you know the thing that they're doing also, tackles, but they're always downfield.
We've just been informed by the league office as they sort out all of the playoff possibilities that if the Raiders win tonight, they are definitely in as a wild card team. Craig with his first throw. He's been hot the last 2 weeks, and he hits his tight end Travis McNeil. He is one of the streakiest quarterbacks you've ever seen, and boy, when he's hot, get out of the way.
He's scary streaky, you're right. I mean, he can bounce him off the carpet, he can airmail him into the cheap seats, but when he starts getting a rhythm, which he has here, and we can see it now, do what you have to do to help your ball club.
2nd and 3 for Seattle, opening drive of the game. Warner from 7 yards deep. Got a good block across the 42, 43. It'll be a first down. Tom Benson, the Raiders' leading tackler, number 54, had to come up and make the stop.
Chuck Warner lined up deep. See how he takes a little counter step? The tackles come across. Big hole. Big hole. You got to give Edwin Bailey a lot of credit and Grant Fiesel for taking down that left side and giving an opportunity for Warner to turn up and hit the hole for the positive yardage.
Out of the split back set this time. Craig dumps it off to Williams. 50, Raider 45, slips the tackle. He's got a chance. Howie Long trying to catch him from behind. They force him out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Eddie Anderson on the tackle. Warner out of the eye. Little stutter step will get him about a yard. Townsend again made the stop.
It's interesting, Mike, just looking at the start of the tempo of the game, it looks like Seattle is dictating it to the Raiders. That's something that a Raider defense doesn't like. They do not like people to come out and dictate a flow and a tempo.
That's what the Seahawks have done this year inside the 20. Fake to Largent, end around, and Craig holds on, gives to Williams. Lyndon King, number 52, the linebacker, was running downfield with his back turned, never saw John L. Williams catch the ball, and he got another 7 yards out of it.
When you're running the football, you can do that. You've got the defense totally playing defense. Watch the play action fake into the line, draws the linebackers up. Now they read pass. Now they start to flow back to get to their zones, and then he just hits it out to the safety valve, John L. Williams, on the swing. Of course, we saw in the Monday night game the big catch that John L. made when Craig scrambled also.
First and goal for the Raiders. Craig, 3 out of 3, 53 yards on the opening drive. Warner fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage, and Golick messed up the timing of the play, hit him in the backfield, and then Mike Harden, the strong side safety, came up to finish it off.
Bob Golick picked up in a plan B. You know, he was a linebacker at New England his rookie year.
Golick in plan B, and Tom Benson, their leading tackler in plan B, worked out rather well for them. Second down, Craig on a roll. He can run. Craig dives to the 5-yard line, covered by Robinson, the middle linebacker. Raiders playing more 4-3 these days. They've always mixed it up.
You know, for a while there, they were a straight 3-4 team, but you got to have that dominant nose tackle. You have to have the guy who plays up tight, and Golick doesn't. And they use a lot of different defenses. They go to the 46. They cover the two guards and the center. So they're using a lot more variety. It's not the same type Raider defense where they come out and play straight man-to-man all the time.
Scansey and Clark check in to make it 4 wide receivers on 3rd and goal. Craig looks for Largent down here. He loves him. Can't find him. Has to go the other way. Touchdown, Scansey. Ruben Rodriguez for the point after. Perfect this year. Now 26 out of 26. Excuse me, Norm Johnson with a point after. It's 7-0 Seattle. Seattle took the opening kickoff, drove the length of the field, got the touchdown. They lead 7-0. Norm Johnson to kick off to 42, Vance Mueller, and 44, Stephon Adams. Adams in the end zone where most of Johnson's kicks go. He'll bring this one out. Almost made the 20-yard line, and Seattle, with some of the finest special team players and coaching in the league, Rufus Porter, they're all pro on special teams, made the tackle.
Here's a look at the touchdown. Now, this is Largent coming in motion. He's going to work up and try and work outside, but the corner doesn't bite. Craig's got to come back here, buy some time. You'll see Scansey coming and head for the corner, staying in the end zone. Now, Craig just wants Largent. They figure a little in and out. If it's man-to-man, it's great. If it's not, you run around and find somebody open. Excellent job by Paul Scansey to stay in the end zone.
Steve Berline brings the Raiders out, and that's the reception they get from the crowd. Bo. Didn't look like much, but that's incredible speed for him to turn the corner. Well, people had an angle on him, and he just walked outside him. There is a flag down on the play.
He still can. The other thing is,
Left side of the line, 5 yards, still first down.
see what happens is the crowd gets going. Berline gets up under the center and starts into a cadence, but he hasn't had an opportunity to establish a rhythm yet because it's the first play. Watch Rory Graves. See the left tackle? He moves. He says, oops, hold it. Let me go back down. Maybe they didn't see me. Yeah. Like when you're that big, you're going to hide. 6'6", 295, and you're going to go back down and say, no, it wasn't me.
Nesby Glasgow had the corner. There was no way Bo Jackson could get around him, but he did. Bo out of the eye. Didn't get much that time. Steve Berline Beuerlein, the Raider quarterback. He is 4-1 as a starter this year. No interceptions in his last 3 games. The Raiders feature great skill people. In a half season, Bo Jackson has risen to number 6 in rushing, and the conference needs only 154 per 1,000 yards. The line, young and strong, second-round pick Steve Wisniewski has a bright future. He has a chance to become an exceptional player in the Raider tradition of offensive linemen. 2nd and 14 here. Players jumping. Beuerlein in trouble. Got him at the 15-yard line. Tony Woods, the left outside linebacker, came through to get him along with Joe Nash. And up front for the Seahawks, Nash is having a Pro Bowl year. 2nd on the team in tackles as a nose man, and he has 7 sacks. That's exceptional. And linebacker David Wyman has good quickness and instincts. The Seahawks are very grateful that he failed a physical when they tried to trade him. The secondary has a measly 5 interceptions in 14 games. Glasgow, who spent 9 of his 11 NFL seasons with the Colts, is now the secondary leader at strong safety. 3rd and 14. They'll keep it on the ground with Jackson, and the Seahawks swarm on him at the 22-yard line. Eugene Robinson and Nesby Glasgow, the safeties, sandwiched him after a gain of 3.
They are going to try and get to Bo as quick as they can. They feel like if they can put hats on him, they might be able to take a look.
32 for the punt of Jeff Gossett. Pretty kick by Gossett. Hollis at the 34. Lost the ball. It looks like the Seahawks get it back at the 35-yard line. Very, very close.
This has been a problem for the Seahawks all year long. They're putting the ball on the ground. Watch Hollis now. Stephon Adams is coming down, and he's just going to put a move on the inside now. On the outside, Dial tries to make the play, winds up stripping the ball. Now there it is on the ground.
Darren Miller, the second-year man out of Tennessee, made the recovery. Seattle 7, Raiders nothing. 6:48 to go first quarter, and Marcus Allen, a couple of Heisman Trophy winners, conferring on the sideline. Of course, all the conjecture about where will Marcus Allen be next year.
Well, you know, it's logical because you just have one football and you get 2 great backs.
Neither of whom happens to be a fullback.
That's right.
Warner. Wrapped up by Golick, who's having an outstanding first quarter, just matching what he's done all year.
Bob Golick has got the quickest feet. I talked to Grant Fiesel, the center for Seattle. I said, what's his strength? He said, you go after him, and he gets rid of you real quick. Now, Fiesel goes out, gets a hand on him. See how Golick just keeps his extension, moves the feet, keeps his feet moving, takes a little bit of his face mask, then lets it go. We're very smart. You got to let it go, or else they flag you.
2nd and 10. 2 wide receivers in the game for the Seahawks. Blades and Larson. Warner again hitting the backfield this time. Townsend crashed from his right end spot. Townsend now listed as a defensive end instead of a linebacker. They feel he'll have a better chance to make the Pro Bowl as a defensive end with all the great outside linebackers.
Absolutely. He's in that mold of the Chris Dolman type. The linebacker put him down. He's only at 255. Not real big for that position, but extremely quick. Gets up the field in a hurry.
10.5 sacks, tied for 2nd in the conference. Also forced 6 fumbles this year. Mark Mraz checks in on 3rd and long. Raiders show blitz. Here they come. Craig steps up. Hit from behind. McDaniel made the stop. Now that's a corner in on the blitz. They showed about 8 guys at the line of scrimmage, came with 5 or 6.
What they basically do is they line up. It's called 5 under and 2 deep. There you see the safeties come out. What they do is they run this inside safeties back out, and they bring pressure on the outside. By holding the safeties up near the guards, you don't give them a chance to get out and block the corners coming around the outside. They're there for a distractive purpose, and it worked that time.
Rodriguez on to punt. There's Stephon Adams waiting at his own 28-yard line. sailing punt. Adams at the 25. Took it up the sideline to the 30-yard line. Return after a 43-yard punt, a return of 5. We have 4:44 to go first. Major League Baseball comes to ESPN. Bo Jackson and the Royals against the Orioles in Baltimore.
I'm going to be there.
Me too.
Who'd I call for tickets? Maybe Bo.
Why not?
What the heck?
Call him for broken bats.
Over his head.
Yeah, if you just want one, he'll snap it over his thigh for you. Raiders with their second possession, down 7-0. They start from their own 35. Berline short of Willie Gault. He was in a seam and open, but Berline came up short. Now, we told you the Raiders, if they win, they are into the playoffs. Here is what Seattle has to do. Win these last 2 games, then all those 6 teams have to lose next week. And the capper is they got to win by 83 tonight. You thought Cincinnati scored a lot of points?
Well, I was just going to say, Cincinnati proves you can get close to that. Of course, I don't know if they have the same incentive that Sam had going against Jerry today.
You'd have to go to the hurry-up offense right now and score every time you touch it. Really creating some problems. Berline to Gault. Lost the ball. Robinson picked it up. One official right on top of the play, never blew the whistle. Another official came up from about 5 yards away and said it was down.
Well, actually, no, Mike. The official on the side, I think, was waiting to see what happened. The official, you watch him come from the left side. The line judge, or excuse me, field judge will come in from the left side. Right there, you'll see the official come in. Not that one. No, there's another one that comes in from the left side of the screen. Of course, the people, what you hear here is a roar from the crowd. What they're saying is that he is down. And remember, the ground cannot force contact.
Ball's loose.
But it also is in slow motion.
But the ball's loose. But the ball is ruled down by contact, so the Raiders keep the ball. Bo, look out. Glasgow took him down inside the 10. And the Raiders got back to the line of scrimmage pretty quick to get that play off, too.
That's headsy football. You're not going to take a chance and have it be reviewed, so you get right to the line of scrimmage, and then you run the play. And, of course, who do you give the ball to when you run it quick? Bo Jackson. A lot of his big runs start going left. You see the Seahawks try and piano string him across, but nobody can make a tackle. This is not as great a run as a Bo Jackson run is, as it is. It's lousy tackling by the Seahawks.
First and goal, ball spotted just outside the 8. The crowd doesn't like it a bit. Bo. Power this time inside the 2 to about the 1.5.
That time, John Giesick, their left guard, and Rory Graves just create a nice cavity for him to run to. Coming right into your living room. Look at that hole. That's all a running back needs is a little bit of daylight. There you see Joe Nash get turned around, and he just couldn't make the play till Bo was 8 yards upfield.
And you're looking at somebody who was the MVP in the Major League Baseball All-Star game and gets our vote to go to the Pro Bowl this year.
Got mine.
Second and goal. The up back is Steve Smith. Bo. Second effort, put the ball out there. It was knocked loose. Picked up by Seattle. Melvin Jenkins. This could be a 99-yard fumble return. Touchdown. Now will it come back? I mean, they don't have a whistle that's this loud.
No, they don't make it.
Forward progress was ruled stop. Third down.
He was ruled stopped. It's third down.
Oh.
Of course, you can't hear anything. You can't hear whistles. You can't hear anything.
They say this is blown dead.
Well, right here, they're going to blow it dead. Right there, they say it's blown dead. Right there, they think he stopped. But the question is, see, that's a touchdown. No, that's a touchdown. That is not touchdown. The ball only has to break the plane.
Depends on when they blew the whistle.
That's what I'm saying. See, the Seahawks can argue and say it was a touchdown, but the Raiders can also argue and say it was a touchdown because the fact is it was.
One way or another, somebody got robbed.
Or you think the fans didn't like the decision of having the touchdown taken away? Wait till they take a look at this one and see the ball breaking the plane of the end zone. I don't even know if the replay man on the field is going to be able to hear the communication. Watch the ball. All it has to do is break the plane. There it is. There's the ball. It has broken the plane of the goal line. It's a touchdown.
But if the whistle blew, they can't review it.
Absolutely. So it sort of makes you wonder.
We'll sort this out eventually.
Sort of makes you wonder why they're standing around out there talking.
That's right. This will be an interesting call. There's a lot of things at work here.
Jacob Green up there saying, wait a second, hold it now. Who said they blew it dead? Red's probably shaking his head saying, you know, I didn't want this to be this kind of night.
The replay official is Gaylord Bryan. And there's Melvin Jenkins, who would have loved.
Now they're going to talk. See, this is instant replay, I guess, is going to be a part of football. I have a big problem with the stoppage of play like this.
That they could have put in place this year that would have shown up on the replay an electronic signal that would have shown the replay official when the whistle blew. But it was a lot of money.
Dead on the 1-yard line, 3rd down.
That's the only thing they can do. If the whistle blew, they got to put the ball down at the 1.
Hey, you see Chuck Knox, he's not happy, and I got to be honest with you. When Art Shell takes a look at this telecast on a replay, he's not going to be happy because he's going to feel like a touchdown was taken away. So it's a wash for both coaches.
3rd and goal. Here we go again. Bow. Stopped him. Roy Hart, number 63, had him around the ankles and wouldn't let go.
I got to ask myself this question, Mike. Last week, in a game against Phoenix, the Raiders needed a touchdown to win the game. They put Marcus Allen in the game to go over the top. Now in the situation when you're down a yard away, you try and pitch it outside wide to Bo Jackson instead of going what's been bread and butter for you for a long time. I don't understand the call.
Ball spotted just outside the 2, and it looks like the Raiders are going to stop the clock to talk about it. They have Jeff Gossett and Jeff Jager, the field goal team, out there. We'll find out when we come back. Art Shell has decided he will go for the field goal. Al Davis on your right, Al Locasal, his longtime assistant, on your left. Jager, who's only 21 of 32 field goal kicking with a chip shot here, and converts. The replay of Bo diving for the goal line. Now watch, he'll extend the ball, break the plane. If the whistle hasn't blown, this is a touchdown. Afterward, it's knocked loose and picked up by Jenkins. He will go the length of the field for a touchdown. So both teams thought they scored. As it turned out, neither one of them did. And we had a 3-minute delay. And here's Shell's reaction to it.
See, he's pointing. He's the line judge. See, he's not even watching the Seahawk guy run down the field. See? He's pointing. He said, you blew the whistle. You. I'm telling you, you blew the whistle.
If Art heard the whistle, he's got great ears.
Well, he wanted to hear it if he didn't. There's Bo. I mean, you know, Bo's forte is running around people. Marcus is going over people. I mean, you got their talents. Use them to the optimum.
7-3 with 1:26 to go in a wild first quarter.
There's a guy that flew in from Cleveland, was out in the cold, and his face is all got discolored.
Jager will kick to Hollis and Harris. Very high kick. Hollis all the way up to the 11. Across the 20, makes the 21-yard line. Craig has been on fire the last 3 games, counting this one. In the last 6 games against the Raiders, he just burned them to death. Craig under pressure, got away from Howie Long, dumps it off to Williams. Largent tried to throw him a block, and Williams across the 30 to the 31-yard line.
Boy, and how he got that one by Scott Davis's nose, I'll never know. He steps up in the pocket, slides.
Will be 2nd and a yard. Williams trying to get the first down, cuts it back and has it. Across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Robinson and Lyndon King make the tackle. Stay in the race, and of course Houston was just pounded by Cincinnati. We have a stoppage of play, the end of the first quarter. It's 7-3 Seahawks. Brilliant career, and Harden happens to be in this ballpark too, because he is now, as a Plan B free agent with the Raiders. Excuse me, just a free agent. He was released by Denver and has played very well as the strong safety for the Raiders.
And he fills the role exactly for him. He's the big guy, the strong safety, can cover the tight end, come up in real physical run support, and still hit you.
Seahawks ball at their own 36-yard line. Played very well in the first quarter. Williams, nowhere to go. Nice job by Townsend to string it out on the right side.
Picked me up in his rookie year and dumped me on my head in the Oakland Coliseum. I'll never forget it.
That was the sport of choice for the Raider defense, wasn't it?
Yeah, which end you wanted to drop the quarterback on.
Four-man rush. Craig with time. Throws to Williams in the flat. Harden couldn't bring him down by himself. Got some help out there. Knocked him out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Lyndon King also had it. What the Seahawks have done on 3rd down and short in the top half of the league. 3rd and 2 here. Craig unloads in a hurry to Kurt Warner. Warner to the LA 42-yard line. Eddie Anderson made the tackle after a gain of 16.
It's very uncharacteristic to see the Raiders play so much zone. But as I mentioned, Seahawks don't have good speed outside, so what they count on is the way they can get their mismatches is they get the backs going against the linebackers. If they play them man-to-man, it's still a mismatch. If they drop back into zones, they're big guys, so it's going to be tough for them to react and get into pass coverage.
13:31 to go, second quarter, 7-3 Seahawks. Warner, student body right. Got a couple down to the 40-yard line. Robinson got out there. Play started out in great shape. Nothing but blue jerseys turning the corner. 2nd and 7 for Dave Craig and the Seahawks. Play action. Williams to the 25-yard line, and they are just eating them up with backs out of the backfield. That was a gain of 14. Down for Seattle. Craig with time. Largent knocked away at the last minute. Lionel Washington got a hand on it. That looked like 101.
Boy, David Craig knows. You could see the look in his face. There it is, one-on-one. Starts him outside. Washington's turn, but Washington never loses sight of the ball. He gives him a little more space than probably he should, but heck, he should have had the interception. Lionel Washington knows he's faster than Steve Largent, so what he's basically doing is he's baiting David Craig a little bit. Get a little space, get away from him, then when the ball's in the air, then I can break on it as well.
Excellent trade to get him from the Cardinals at 2nd and 10. Craig in trouble. Backed out of it and unloads. Williams made the catch at the 13. Oh, what a play.
David Craig does the old two-step to get him.
And now he'll block for Warner. Dives forward, gets to about the 11-yard line. McDaniel came up from the corner to make the stop.
Kurt Warner, number 1 pick.
That is his only 100-yard game of the season against the Raiders in the 4th game of this year. Second and 8. Largent couldn't hold it right in his hand. Lionel Washington looked like he was trying to hold Largent up and not hurt him.
He was just, see, this is unnecessary. I mean, you know, Millard comes over to protect him, but really, Washington is just trying to pick him up so he doesn't fall down.
Largent certainly wasn't upset about it.
Well, here, they figure the man-to-man coverage, they can pick it. This is a rarity. One goes through Largent's hand. Now, Lionel Washington, he's not sure whether he has the ball. Now he's sure, see, now he's just trying to hold him up. He doesn't want to dump him down. Of course, people in this stadium, they don't need a reason to boo. They don't care. You know, you hit Steve Largent, you deserve to get booed. I don't care what.
3rd and 8. Craig to the end zone. Largent can't get there. Good coverage again by Lionel Washington. And the Seahawks will have to go for the field goal.
Good job of defense by the Raiders. There it is, man-to-man, one-on-one coverage. Washington just taking the outside. See how he keeps an eye on Largent? See how he looks? He looks at the court. What he does is he's looking at the receiver's eyes. Their eyes get bigger when the ball's coming. It's like anybody else. If something's coming like that, you get bigger eyes. As soon as their eyes get a little bit bigger, he turns around and he says, aha.
Norm Johnson. Largent is his holder. And this will be a 24-yard attempt. Johnson perfect. Excuse me, 29 yards. Johnson converts, and it's 10-3 Seahawks. Seattle has extended its lead to 10-3 here in the second quarter. 10:38 to go in the half. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann with you from the Kingdome in Seattle. Johnson kicks off. Stephon Adams trying to corral it inside the 5. Did a good job just to get it back to the 13-yard line. He was hoping it was going to bounce out of bounds. It wouldn't.
Well, Seattle's special teams are coached by Rusty Tillman, and in, year out, they've either been a part of the league lead in special teams play or in blocked kicks or in return kicks. They work very hard on it. Rusty's very upset about getting them, you know, heck, they got outside the 10, guys. Why couldn't you keep them in there?
All he does is get them to play like he did. Drive 68 yards, took 5.5 minutes plus off the clock, and Johnson finished it off from 29. Bo is the single setback. And he'll get the carry. Nowhere to go. In the backfield, Nesby Glasgow, the strong safety.
Oh, does he do a great job. He takes on Steve Smith and just stands him up and doesn't move and is waiting for Bo when he gets there. That's the way you defeat a block. If a blocker's going to come at you and be aggressive, you be more aggressive. See, if there's ever a stalemate, the defense considers that a victory.
Four-man rush. Burline with time. Throws to Fernandez. Had the ball stripped out of his hands, but they will whistle it dead at the 28-yard line. Gain of 16, and Fernandez very strong and very dangerous after the catch. Averaging 19.4 this year.
You know what the most critical part of a game is the center's communication when the stadium's loud. See how the tackle's looking in? See how he's nodding his head? See how Graves is nodding his head saying, yeah, I hear you. Bruce Wilkerson saying, yeah, I hear you. Don Mosvar's probably got the toughest job of anybody here tonight, and that's being able to communicate with the line and snap the ball.
Look out, Burline hammered from behind, loose ball. Raiders have it back, but Jeff Bryant came from the blind side and just plastered it. just bring back nasty memories?
That hurt. I tell you, that hurt. See, you really have a lot of confidence in your offense. He has no idea that he's there. That's like whiplash. That was a car accident, there'd be a suit filed.
Steve Wisniewski recovered the fumble, but Jeff Bryant now has 3.5 sacks. That one for a loss of 13 yards. And it's 2nd and 23. What a shot. Bo. Not this time. Nash was there, got a lot of help. Nash went to the Pro Bowl in '84, was an alternate in '85, and they feel he's had the kind of a year they could send him back to the Pro Bowl this year as a nose man.
Well, he's had 3 blocked field goals this year. Just on special teams alone he could go. He leads the team in career blocks, 9 total, 7 field goals, 2 PATs.
And he's not big, 269 pounds. Third and 20. Burline under pressure, intended for Fernandez. Too high, Harper was right there. Burline unhappy with the play, and the Seahawks deep zone 37-yard line. Pretty kick. Hollis from the 37 gets what he can. A return of 5 after a pretty punt of 45 yards. Seahawks ball, 7:43 to go first half. And they have never been a good road team when you consider this building.
No, and they don't like coming here to play because they really believe that the Seahawks feel like mentally they have the edge. And when you think Raider football, you can't feel that they can concede anybody having an edge over the Los Angeles Raiders. They just feel like they can dominate any situation.
Other thing about the Seahawks, they do not like the LA Raiders. They didn't like them before they played them the first time in the franchise history.
Didn't matter. You know, it's always gone that way. Plus, this game has not gone the way Art Shell wanted it to go. He did not want the crowd to get involved, and they are certainly involved.
Craig brings them out, 1st and 10, 7:43 to go first half. Largent across the 50, 45, 44-yard line of the Raiders. Brought down by Tom Benson, a gain of 13. He has now caught a pass in 176 straight games, extending his own record. I'm sure there are some in there he doesn't have, but I don't know what they are.
Just because I wouldn't want to try and find it. There it is. See what they do is they pick a little bit. What happens is one receiver goes out, Largent comes down underneath. He knows he's not as fast as a lot of people, so he uses that to his advantage.
2 games to go in a sparkling career. Williams, nowhere to go. Once again, the Raiders do a nice job up front, and once again, it is Greg Townsend making the tackle. Our story 5. 2nd and 10 for Craig. Under pressure again, unloaded, incomplete, flag is down. Tried to hit his tight end McNeil, and Jerry Robinson was right there. Apparently right there a little early.
Well, he said he put...
Incomplete. Scansey couldn't hold it at the 20-yard line. Lionel Washington was with him. Good job by Craig to scramble out and buy some time.
Well, the thing is what the Seahawks are doing is they're blocking a back, so they've got like 7 people blocking 4. Scansey just continues to work like he did on the touchdown reception, and he just loses sight of the ball. He thinks he has it, and he doesn't. Good job by Dave Craig moving along. His head hit the ground real hard, and I think they're taking a look at his forehead. Keep you up to date on that.
Blades and Largent are the wideouts on 2nd and 10. Almost intercepted, intended for Blades. McDaniel, however, had the best shot at it. When the Raider corners are doing a real good job. They're running the routes of the Seattle receivers before they do.
Well, but see, that's what happens when you have more speed than the guys you're covering. You can anticipate. Blades is not a burner. That's one thing that the Seahawks really need, is they need somebody who can get up and down the field in a hurry.
Number 57 on the offense, still 2nd down.
David Craig had a lot of success throwing the football to John L. Williams and underneath to Kurt Warner.
65.
Well, we've seen the...
After the penalty called on left guard Edwin Bayless. Seahawks with 4 wide receivers in there. They go with a screen. Williams, 3 blockers in front. Back to the original line of scrimmage and then down to the 39-yard line. Gain of 11. Nice call on 2nd and 20.
Sure it is. And what it does is, see, it's long.
Seahawks. Scancy will return, we're told. In fact, he's back in. One of the wideouts to the right side. Craig on a timing pattern, complete to Clark at the 29-yard line. He's covered by Land.
It's just a simple snap. Seahawks line up with their 4 wide receivers. Scancy takes a hard inside, and there's the pass. It's all a timing route. Lewis Clark making the big reception. See, he only had 22 coming into this game, but 4 of them were against the Raiders last time. So this is another guy who likes to play against the Raiders.
Craig does not get a lot of publicity being out here in Seattle, hardly the media capital, not the center of the country. But since '83, he has more touchdown passes than anyone except Dan Marino. Warner trying to get outside. Williams trying to give him a block, not much. Craig put on the bench, came back 2 weeks ago, and since he came back, he has been on fire. Now, what did being on the bench really do for him?
It takes you away from the heat. Number one, you catch a lot of heat from the fans, the media. Your teammate starts to look at you and say, hey, when are you going to make a play? What it does, it just gives you a chance to look at the game from a different perspective. And you watch another quarterback run the plays, and in this case it was Kelly Stauffer. He looks at him running, he says, well, maybe I wouldn't do that. Just gives him another opportunity to take a look at the game.
2nd and 9 from the 27. Warner on the delay. Kept his balance to the 20-yard line, about a yard shy of a first down. Eddie Anderson and Mike Harden, the safeties, came up to make the tackle. Good balance by the veteran out of Penn State.
The Raider defense needs to make a play. The reason why they need to make a play right here, and you'll see the missed tackle. See, nice move. Warner doing a good job to keep his balance, but they can't keep giving up 6-7 yards. They need to make a big play, if for no other reason, to get to the sidelines to get a little bit of rest. They've been out on the field all day in the first half.
Seattle almost always throws on 3rd and 2, and it's 3rd and 2. Scancy, first down. Horse-collared by Price, but he got it to the 12-yard line. Scancy, another possession-type receiver, much like Largent, says he has learned an awful lot from Largent just watching him.
Everybody's learned something from Steve Largent. He's got such a great ethic. Watch this. Scancy starts in, then he comes back out. Now, here's the man-to-man coverage. He's running with him. When he turns to come back out, he's automatically late. This one runs off. He goes in the flat to make the reception. There. That's the way you beat man-to-man coverage, and then you run a little pick behind it. You need 2 yards, piece of cake.
1st and 10 from the 12. Seattle already leading 10-3. Williams. Neither Warner nor Williams have run the ball very well this year, and what used to be called ground chuck has become grounded chuck. Look how the average has gone from 4.5 in '86 to 3.5 in 89. It may not seem like much, but 1 yard a rush is an awful lot in this list.
It really is, and I think it's directly related to the health of Kurt Warner. He's getting a little older. He had the knee problem, and they just can't rely on him to make the big plays as much anymore.
And the offensive line has been inconsistent. Craig, what a throw. Unbelievable throw. Townsend turns around and hits him in the mouth. Instead, it's a complete pass at the sideline. That's the second time in 3 weeks he has thrown a pass like that.
I'll tell you, when you get hot, there's almost nothing you can do. And here's a case, Townsend can't play it any better. He's in coverage. Look at the throw. Watch this. You don't know how close that came to his head. David Craig is on one of his streaks, and look out, world.
Nice throw. Yeah, you bet.
I'll congratulate me.
3rd and 5. Quarterback draw, and they sniffed it out. Howie Long was right in the middle of it, but Townsend was also there, and Van McElroy came up in a hurry.
And there's a name we haven't called all in the first half, Howie Long. He's been a force the last couple weeks. He's much more healthy. He's having an opportunity to practice. Rejuvenated since Art Shell took over.
He's become an impact player again.
Got 2 heads, got a helmet on one and, face on the other.
Norm Johnson, who has already kicked 1 field goal of 29, will go for another, but he won't get the chance. We've reached the 2-minute warning here in the first half from Seattle. We're at the Kingdome, where the Seahawks lead the Raiders 10-3. Goal attempt of the game. The ball spotted at the 15-yard line. It will be a 25-yard attempt. Just only 2 inside 40 this year. And the Seahawks, who have been able to control the football in the first half, extend their lead again. Now it's 13-3 over the Raiders. From the Kingdome in Seattle, the Seahawks leading the Raiders 13-3. Coming up on Saturday, December 23rd at noon, Kansas State against North Carolina. The Tar Heels back over the 500 mark after beating DePaul. And then live at midnight Eastern, it is a 100-yard dash where they'll have 1 basketball. Oklahoma against Loyola Marymount.
Well, you don't want to blink your eyes when they're ball.
Mueller and Adams deep for the kick. Adams at the goal line. .35 out to the 36-yard line. Norm Johnson, the kicker, was in on the tackle. Return of 36.
This is a very critical period. There you see the scoring drive, 12 plays, 49 yards, 5 minutes and 46 seconds, which brings up time of possession. LA's only had the ball 8 minutes, 48 seconds. Seattle's had it 19 minutes, 15 seconds. You can't score if you don't have the football.
The Raiders also have only 3 first downs in this ballgame. And we have an injured player for the Seahawks. And it's Rufus Porter, their special teams star, who went to the Pro Bowl last year.
Geez, they hit. You got to figure a guy runs 50 yards and then runs into a wall. You got to come out a little shorter. He was 6'4" before he started doing this stuff.
Raiders just haven't had the football very much, thanks to an outstanding Seattle defensive effort. Bo. What a stiff arm. Got back to the line of scrimmage. In the backfield, James Jefferson got there in a hurry, couldn't do anything. Eugene Robinson finally came up to make the tackle.
Well, I talked to Tom Catlin, the defensive coordinator of the Seahawks. He said what's going to be so important with Bo Jackson is support and force. And force can come from linebackers as well as secondary people. Now, Jefferson doesn't make the tackle, but he causes Bo to go a lot wider than he wanted to and allowed his teammates to be there in pursuit.
First quarter, Bo rushed for 52 yards on 5 carries. Second quarter, they've shut him down 4 times, only 1 total yard. Good scramble by Berline, and the dive gets him to the 44-yard line. No slide for the Notre Damer.
Well, yeah, right. But I think I might suggest it to him at some point.
Bo the receiving end. Has the first down, got out of bounds. There is a flag down, back by Steve Berline at the 31. And it will go against the Raiders.
Holding, number 63 on the offense, still third down.
John Giesick, the third-year man out of Cal State Sacramento, flagged for holding.
Boy, they hate that. I've stood in the huddle. You know, you look at a guy's face, and, you know, and they're always pointing at somebody else. Was it you? Did you hold? Was it you? Was it you? No, it was me. There you see number 63 pushing him down. There comes the flag out of the pocket. You know, they always, and then all of a sudden they announce it, and they say to one another, see, I told you it was you. I knew it wasn't me.
1:13 to go in the half, 3rd and 13. Big rush, whistle blows. Berline had Rufus Porter, who apparently is just fine, thank you very much, coming from the blind side. Would have had the sack, but there was movement before the play.
One of the things that Art Shell told us last night, he said with the crowd noise, the tackles...
Start. Number 60 on the offense, still third down.
The tackles have to look into the ball. And what happens is when they're looking into the ball, they can't watch the defensive man across from them. So if he makes a sudden quick move, they react and flinch. And that's exactly what happened. Watch the right side. See him flinch and move? Now, the result was the fact that the defensive guy started to come across. Defensive players are allowed to move before the ball snaps.
Now it's 3rd and 18. Flag is down again. They'll whistle the play dead. It was movement again, and it looked like the same play. Rory Graves moved again.
Start. Number 60 on the offense. Still third down.
You want to go through that explanation again?
You know, gosh, Rory. See, it's so hard. Now, that's got to be tough because Rory Graves being taught. Watch, right side of your screen. Right side of your screen. See the defense? See the outside man just flinch? Well, the problem is he's looking at the ball because he wants to get off on it, and out of his peripheral vision, he sees movement, and he reacts to it. Sort of like you're darned if you do and darned if you don't.
Of course, that left tackle spot is the one that was manned by Art Shell for so long and so well that he put him into the Hall of Fame. But now it's 3rd and 23. Raiders going in the wrong direction. Green jumps offside. We'll have another whistle.
Encroachment by the defense, number 79.
It's like, you know, I'll bet you...
Had 4 straight flags, a holding penalty, 2 motions, and an offside. Berline, the catch made by Mike Alexander. It is short of a first down, however. Brought down by Melvin Jenkins. They spotted it to 43. Clock running with 52 seconds to go. Seattle letting a lot of time work off this clock. Hollis is deep. Gossett hangs it high, not too long. And Hollis with a fair catch at the 22. Leaves 32 seconds on the game clock after a punt of 35. It was sort of a curious 4th down. I'm sorry, go ahead.
There it is again. Watch this. There's Rory circled. Now he's 2 for 2. Watch. This is before the ball is snapped. See, he looks in. Now he looks out. There comes a little flinch. See? Defensive guy moves. Now he starts to rock. He just rocked back just a little bit. They could have called him for a 3rd straight movement.
It's a very curious 4th down. Seattle did not call a timeout to stop the clock. They have 2 left. The Raiders didn't run the play clock down all the way to burn more time off the clock. It's like both teams forgot about it.
The Raiders don't worry about running that stuff. They know in one play they can pick up a ton of yardage.
Craig will get it off to Williams. Out to about the 25-yard line, and it doesn't look like Seattle is going to bother. Chuck Knox preferring to take a 13-3 lead to the locker room and enjoy it. Tough series for Rory Graves. 2 straight motion penalties. An impressive first half for the Seattle.
And it's a stellar performance all the way across the board. Dave Craig, 158 yards, 206 total yards. Big key here is time of possession. Almost 20 to 10.
And third down conversions. Raiders have nothing. Johnson to kick to Mueller and Adams.
That's because it's been 3rd and a mile.
Yeah. Mueller 42, Adams 44. Seattle mathematically alive in the playoff race. All sorts of miracles would have to occur for them to get in. The Raiders, if they win tonight, they are a wild card team. But they're 10 points down. Adams on the high short kick from the 15. Got it back only to the 21. Hollis was downfield in a hurry to make the tackle. Here's what the Raiders did in the first half when they had the ball, and it's not much. That was their only scoring drive. 62 yards and a field goal. They only had the ball 4 times. They had to punt it away 3 of those 4. Art Shell 7-3 as a head coach. Done quite a job to turn around the club after a 1-3 start.
You know, everybody's talked about Coach of the Year. I think Marty Schottenheimer is probably the leading candidate, but there's a guy who certainly deserves some consideration what he's done to his ball club.
Berline floats it for Dial, his tight end. He was being chased by the linebacker Como and then covered by Nesby Glasgow deep.
Mike Dial is going to help this football team. He's only in his first year. He's averaging 18 yards a catch, got 2 TDs. But the big thing about it is they bring back the tight end to the Raider offense. Todd Christensen for years was one of the league leaders in receptions. It's gone away for a while from Raider football, and they want to bring it back, and this is the guy that can help it.
He has a better per-catch average than any tight end who's ever played for the Raiders, and including guys like Christensen, Cannon, Casper, and Chester. It's a pretty decent lineup. Jackson in motion. Here comes the blitz. Berline with time for Galt. That's interference. Hunter, beaten badly, just reached out and tackled Willie Galt.
It's a mismatch. Anytime you're running Willie Galt down the field, this is a 38-yarder, but it's a mismatch. Red coming over to get the confirmation. I don't think he has to worry about any question marks there.
Well, they came with the blitz, and when they do...
Interference. Number 27 on the defense. First down.
Corners are out there by themselves.
Well, Hunter's got good he's got good position, but the fact is, you know, you can be 3 yards ahead of Galt and the ball's in the air. He's going to run by you to go get it. That's why Al went out and got Willie.
That is only the 4th first down of the game for the Raiders. Berline to Fernandez. Nice job by Dwayne Harper to wrap him up.
I'll tell you something. If I was the Los Angeles Raiders, that's exactly what I'd do. And I'd run Willie and Mervin deep, and then I'd run them on 8-10-yard stops. You got to scare the heck out of the corners. This is more like what Al Davis wanted to see out of his football team, not the first half when their offense spent most of the time sitting on the bench.
One thing Al Davis doesn't get much credit for. He drafted Bo Jackson in the 7th round in 1986 as a future draft choice.
You know why? Because he said he didn't want to play against him. That was one of the motivational reasons.
Bo, not this time. Darren Como got him at the line of scrimmage. Como is the guy who is playing inside because Brian Bosworth has been hurt for 2 years with shoulder injury.
And I saw Brian before we came into the stadium tonight. I asked him how he was doing. He says he has arthritis in both his shoulders, and the constant pounding and the weightlifting has created problems for him. He spends most of his time in Hawaii now, comes back over for the game, but I asked him about his future, and he said, I just don't know.
Marcus Allen is checked into the Raiders lineup. Bo goes out on 3rd and 5. Allen, a great receiver out of the backfield. Stays in the block this time. Burline for Galt, wide open, touchdown. Beat Dwayne Harper. 36-yard touchdown. So the Raiders come out doing what they didn't do in the first half.
That's exactly right. Everybody, you know, when you talk to Seattle, you talk about what do you fear most with the Los Angeles Raiders. We fear their speed, specifically Willie Galt and Bo Jackson. They've shut down Jackson. Now Burline just goes back and sets in the pocket. They're in double coverage, and Willie still runs by it. I mean, it's a mismatch. He's the only guy who can catch Bo Jackson in the league, and there's nobody else. So it's a mismatch if Willie Galt's running down the field against anybody.
Jaeger for the point after. And we have a 3-point ball game. Steve Burline watching his pretty pass to Willie Galt. Jeff Jaeger, who played his college football at the University of Washington here, is kicking off. Hollis at the 5. Stopped shy of the 20, only got back to the 18-yard line. Downfield, Vance Mueller. That drive, 79 yards, a minute 46. 38 yards came on an interference penalty and 36 on the touchdown pass. So they ate up 74 of the 79 on 2 big plays. That's Raider football.
That's it. I mean, you know, you've got the speed, you've got to put it to use. Art Shell said he wanted to be a little bit conservative coming into this game to keep the crowd out of it. It didn't work. They've gone back to doing what they do best.
And he didn't want to make the big mistake early. Craig has it batted up in the air. Looked like Howie Long got the hand up.
He was trying to go to John L. Williams again on the swing pass. Howie telling the ref, he said, hey, look, they're holding me. Watch the arm go up. Gets the right arm under and then slides the left one up to bat the ball in the air.
Good job by Brian Millard, the right guard. One-on-one against Long, who gets double teamed an awful lot.
Howie Long is back to his Pro Bowl status. He's healthy, he's happy, and that does not mean good things for opposing quarterbacks.
2nd and 10. Play action to Warner. McNeil, the tight end. He was covered very well by Benson. Here's what Seattle did in the first half when they had the football, and the Seahawks did good things with it. An 83-yard drive started everything off. They had to punt the next one away, but then got 2 Norm Johnson field goals after good drives, and then didn't have a chance at the end of the half. So they had the ball 5 times, and the Raiders had it only 4.
Chuck Knox, as Mike mentioned, never had a losing season and doesn't want to have one.
4 and 8, they were ready for the autopsy, but the patient got up off the table. Craig going long. Chadwick can't get there. Double team. Anderson and Price on the coverage.
That's the one thing that the Seahawks do not want to get into. They do not want to get into 3rd down and long, 2nd down and long. They have to consistently try and get some kind of 3 and 4 yards.
And just outside his own 40-yard line. It's a game of momentum, and obviously it has swung to Los Angeles. High, but very short. And takes the bounce in favor of the Raiders. Let's see where they'll mark it. At the Seattle 43-yard line, a punt of only 25. And she didn't like it one bit. We'll be back in.
When I'm out in the field, I hope I have animal instincts because Out there, you got to be the attacker instead of the attackee. And every time I touch the ball, or every time I'm trying to block, I do my damnedest to attack the opponent and try to catch them off guard or try to beat them to the punch.
And he does more often than not. Bo coming out on this play as they'll send in an extra wide receiver on 1st and 10. Excellent field position from the Seattle 43. Rory Graves is being attended to on the Raiders sideline. And in there in his place, number 66, Steve Wright at left tackle. Berline on the post to Alexander, couldn't hold it at the 20. Got the fingertips on it, and that's it.
Oh, and Steve Berline knew he had something big. It was right there. He saw it. They got the perfect coverage they wanted. A strong zone, which means that the strong safety is up and the corner is back, and he can't get it completed. This is just a little bit too far out front. Just a little bit too far.
Of course, Berline replaced Jay Schrader as the starting quarterback for the Raiders when Schrader wasn't able to get it done. Ball back in the game. He gets the toss. Great block by Steve Smith, but Seattle just swarmed to the football. Robinson and Harper over to make the stop. And there's the starting left tackle, second-year man out of Ohio State, Rory Graves, and he's got the right foot propped up. Not a good sign. Marcus Allen checks into the Raider lineup on 3rd and 7.
Art Shell likes the way this thing's going a little bit more now, but he wants to see his team convert this play.
Four-man rush. Plenty of time for Berline. Fernandez. Robinson stuck him, but he held on at the 24.
Swervin Mervin. Tough receiver. Big guy. 6'3", 200 pounds out of San Jose State. Boy, when they call a deep in this game, they call it deep in. This is a 15, 18-yard deep in pattern. Good moves. Look at that. In the air, he takes a shot in the stomach and hangs on to the ball.
Fernandez closing in on 1,000 yards. He would be the first Raider with 1,000 yards since Cliff Branch in '76. And you wonder why. It's because it was such a tight end passing-oriented offense for so long. Allen and Smith are the backs. Allen cuts it back down to the 15-yard line. Out 8 weeks with a torn knee ligament. He is back, says he is 100%.
What a compliment he is to Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson takes things outside, stretches the defense. Marcus Allen, an entirely different back. He wants the defense to be stretched, has great vision, a la Eric Dickerson, guys like that who can stretch that and then cut up and run north and south when he makes the move.
There were all sorts of rumors about who Marcus Allen might be traded to if they decided to do that. He said yesterday he thought it was Cleveland that they were talking to. And then the trade possibilities broke off. 2nd and 2. Smith, nice hole inside the 10. That will be a first down and goal situation. M.L. Johnson, number 52, made the tackle.
When you break down the Raider offense, it's very, very elementary. They want the fast guy outside. They've got that in Willie Gall. They want the big breakaway back. They've got that in Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen. But you have to have the fullback who is very unselfish. That's what Steve Smith is. Give him 1, 2 carries, make him happy, but he's the guy that's going to have to just go in and bang heads.
First and goal from the 9. 9:40 to go, 3rd quarter. Raiders down by 3. Berline throws incomplete. Flag is down. Fernandez was double teamed in the end zone. He and Robinson slow getting up. Patrick Hunter was the other defender protesting the call.
Interference. Number 27 on the defense. Interference was in the end zone. The ball will be on the 1-yard line. First down.
First and goal from the 1.
There's the throw. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Grabbed the
No
left
question.
arm.
Yeah, I don't know what Patrick Hunter's screaming about. He just grabbed him. Think Al Davis doesn't know? Oh, I'm not sure. Let me see. Was it a touchdown? No. But he'll be happy now that they got the call.
Bo Jackson back in. Marcus Allen out. Play action. Berline hits his tight end, Trey Junkin. Touchdown. Very well designed play. Third string tight end, Trey Junkin gets only his third catch of the year. 2 of them have been for touchdown.
Well, that's the problem you have if you're a defense and you got a great back. Watch the play action. I mean, if you put the ball anywhere near Bo, somebody's going to make a play. Tony Woods tries to make a play on it. Trey Junkin just heads for the end zone to make the touchdown reception. I don't know what Art said at halftime, but I think you could bottle that and sell it to people and maybe get some more production out of them.
It worked, didn't it? Raiders have come out smoking. 2 touchdowns in the first 5.5 minutes of the quarter. Jaeger with a point after. So the Raiders went into the locker room down 13-3. Now with 9:26 to go, they're up 17-13. Bo Jackson on the sideline. Los Angeles writer Mike Downey had the best line about him so far. This guy is not only in a league by himself, he's in 2 leagues by himself. And he is just a magnificent athlete. A lot of rumors going around. Will he play football still? The Raiders said he has time remaining on his football contract. Hollis outside the 5. Raiders have done a good job covering on special teams as usual. And McElroy down on the field into it with one of the Seahawks. McElroy just came back off injured reserve. Wants to play very badly.
Yeah, he volunteered to be on the kickoff team. He loves to mix it up. He's a tough guy. M.L. Johnson, he figured why not spend a little time visiting with him, exchanging holiday greetings. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. There's one of your starting saves. There they are, locked up in combat. M.L. doing a job screening them. Well, I can see why Van's a little upset.
Now let's see how the Seahawks respond. 14 unanswered points. John L. who had a big first half. Carries Harden with him to the 29-yard line. Scoring drive, 43 yards. Took advantage of excellent field position. And Berline with the pass to Junkin for the touchdown. John L. Williams so far tonight, 8 carries, 33 yards, had more than 100 yards in total offense in the first half alone. 2nd and 5 here. Comes the blitz. Williams avoided it and got out to the 33, very close to a first down. Lyndon King made the stop, but the Raiders came with a blitz and missed.
Well, but what it did is it blocked up the initial hole. That's what they've got to do. They've got to create some hesitation for the backs to run to. They have to give a chance for the pursuit to catch up to them. That's what that blitz did.
And short by a couple of inches. Now making an inch.
Drag it back much further and have a first down.
This is Chuck Knox kind of football, though. 3rd and inches. Let's go and play a little smash mouth.
And he didn't appreciate what Bruce Goslett said, you know, the offensive coordinator from Cincinnati last week. He said, you know, we got beat by a bad team. Yeah, I don't think Chuck would like anybody to say that about his football team.
On 3rd and 1, the Seahawks have run 98% of the time in the last 3 years. No different here, and Warner has the first down. He's near the 35. You hear coaches talk about tendencies, even though Craig sidearms to Williams. Kind of action that was so successful in the first half.
Well, they started at the beginning of the second half. They started to get away from it, throwing the ball to the wide receivers. Now it seems they've gone right back. They'll look down the field, give their fullback and halfback a chance to get out, dump it off, and let them run with it. And you take 7 yards every first down. You ask anybody, I'd wind up with 2nd and 3 and be very happy all day.
John L. Williams with 143 yards in total offense. Warner dancing and got maybe about a half a yard out of the tango. Mike Wise in on the stop. Golick was also around the ball.
You just can't do a lot of dance. If you're in the eye.
Kurt made an amazing recovery from a devastating knee injury, but this has not been a great year for him. 3rd and 2, which is almost always a passing down for the Seahawks. Craig to Williams. Has the first down. Good effort. McElroy brought him down with a jersey tackle, but couldn't keep him from passing the sticks.
Going into the pits for a little repair. Like any good race car. Every now and then you got to get tuned up a little.
1st and 10 Seattle. 5:25 and counting. 3rd quarter from the Kingdom. Golick with some pressure. Craig got away. McNeil, his tight end, takes the dump off. Bounced off a couple of tackles, a couple of more. Into Raider territory at the 48-yard line, and Travis McNeil at 6'3", 248 took some guys for a ride like bumper cars.
That's only his 7th reception. They just don't use him that much. They want to try and work the tight end into the offense a little more. Certainly not the primary receiver, but Golick's putting pressure on. Craig pumps once, pumps again. Now the first hit comes. Look, a heat-seeking missile. Let me see who I can run into now. Oh, wait a second. Here's a linebacker. Okay, let me go the other way.
Of course, the Seahawks' longtime tight end, Mike Tice, they left him free, and he was taken by Washington as a Plan B free agent. So the rookie out of Tennessee, Chattanooga, had to do the job his first year. Williams, not much there. Golick was in on it again. And another thing, Joe, about having a rookie tight end, it doesn't help your ground game.
It doesn't help your running game at all, because that's really what the tight end's job is in Seattle. It's been Chuck Knox's belief since he started coaching is that.
Seahawks trying to respond to 2 straight Raider touchdowns. Chadwick to the 29-yard line, almost broke it all the way. Eddie Anderson just tripped him up. A gain of 19. Chadwick obtained from the Lions. That's his 5th catch as a Seahawk.
And a big catch. Dan lands in coverage. David Craig just puts this ball perfectly right where he has to. Chadwick beats Land inside, and Eddie Anderson makes the touchdown saving play. Gets his bell rung in the process.
Chadwick out of Grand Valley State, and Anderson, attention on the field, has come to the sideline. He's fine.
In college, they call him Hitman, and this is the reason why. Sticks his head right in there. You'll see here. Makes the hit right on Chadwick's hip. Hit him in the hip. That's what Hitman does.
Well, Van McElroy has come in at his spot. Space he occupied for quite a while. McElroy in his 8th year. First down, Seattle. Three-man rush. Craig nailed by Townsend just as he let it go. It's incomplete. Well, that time with a 3-man rush, they got there.
Well, what Townsend does here is he takes Mike Wilson hard up the field. You'll see him, number 75, the tackle. See how Townsend gets him moving up the field, gets him off balance, and then he knows, the defensive ends know where the quarterback should be. They can see him stop, so they try and work a little bit past, and then they take the hard right angle in. And there you see David just barely get the ball off.
Well, barely is right. 2nd and 10. They're already in Norm Johnson's field goal range. Fake to Warner. Craig. McNeil at the 15. McElroy drilled him and comes up taunting him a little bit. But McNeil can turn around and show him the football.
Doesn't matter. David Craig with a great piece of work by himself. Almost a naked boot. Greg Townsend doesn't buy the fake. Watch this. He's out there. It's just me and you, Greg. Look at this. I'll look back the other way. Old head fake. Worked for him. Show him the ball, take it away. McNeil with the big reception and a big hit by McElroy.
A nice play by Craig. 12th play of this drive. Williams on the delay behind Wilson. Didn't turn out as well as it looked like it might have. Jerry Robinson makes the stop at the 13th. The AFC playoff teams are still mathematically in it. It's unbelievable.
The entire AFC is still alive.
Just about. Second and 9 for Largent. Couldn't get there. Lionel Washington again had him covered very, very well. That time Craig was just relying on Largent to outmaneuver Anderson.
Well, these corners of the Raiders, they'll allow the guys to go by. You know, they're not going to let them go by them. They run in front of them. See, Washington does it great. He knows exactly where the ball is going from the time it's let go. Lionel Washington does something. I remember working against him when he was with St. Louis. And he'd sometimes lose the ball. There, he has great vision. He's come a long way, done a very good job as a corner. Keeps the receiver and the quarterback in his view.
Seattle 3 out of 3 on third downs in this drive. Craig. Williams, touchdown. Norm Johnson for the point after. And the Seahawks have answered the Raiders' challenge. Flag is down. The point was good. We'll check the penalty. A win tonight would bring the Seahawks to 7-8. They were.
The scary part is in a matter of 11 or 12 seconds, the Raiders can go right ahead.
Wheeler and Adams are deep. Adams, 2 yards deep, he'll down in the end zone. Well, that's always been Raider football. You go ahead and take your time and score. We'll come back and hit you for 80.
But this is not, the Raider style of football is on offense right now. That's not the Raider style on defense we're seeing. You know, Dave Adolph, coach in Cleveland, came here under Mike Shanahan, believes a little bit more in the patience, the zone, bend, don't break. That's not Raider football. They'd rather break you than bend you.
From the 20, 1st and 10, 1:04 to go third quarter. Smith, the single setback. Burline to Dial. Closest man to it was Nesby Glasgow, but Dial was wide open.
Well, he wanted to go to Bo Jackson up the right sideline. He wanted to try and hit Jackson up the sideline. He looked out there, and then when Dial broke open, he just couldn't load it properly to make the play. Here it is. There's Jackson. He goes up. Dial comes down the middle, and he just flat misses it. He wants to go up top. Little pump fake. Look at Dial. Whoa, boy. Give me that one back.
2nd and 10 now. Marcus Allen in there. Dial made the catch this time across the 40, still on his feet, 50, into Seattle territory. Wyman brought him down from behind. Nice catch and concentration by the tight end, Mike Dial.
Well, if you don't hit him deep, let him cross one time. Perfectly thrown ball, puts it right where he has to. There's what's known as looking it in, a header. He made a header catch. Uses his helmet. I don't know if you'd go down in the classics as far as carrying the ball goes. That doesn't fit in the category of tucking it away, but it's effective.
Texas A&I. 1st and 10. Smith. Bryant brought him down along with M.L. Johnson. And that will be the last play of the third quarter as Smith gets a rare carry. And that is the end of the third period. Our score from Seattle, the Seahawks 20, the Raiders 17. So many great years with the Raiders. Now the general manager of the Seattle Seahawks. Divided loyalties?
Not really. I mean, he appreciates his heritage, but he said the toughest thing, you know, I had a great visit with him on Friday. He said, you know, the thing about Sundays, I'm bored to death. He said, I wish I could be back down on the field. This is what he really misses. And I asked him about Chuck and about him taking over. He said, you know, I really don't want to go back to coach. I wouldn't mind if I could do it on Sunday, but going back and going through the meetings, he leaves the Seahawks complex, about 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and he can see all the lights on still in the coach's offices, and that's the one thing I don't believe he missed.
I think he really appreciates the job Chuck Knox has done. Chuck Knox has done it for years and years, taking 3 different teams to the playoffs in this league. Nobody else has ever done it. Marcus Allen in the backfield with Smith. And Berline wants it all. Willie Gault. Harper intercepted. Harper with a convoy. Oh, he just ran out of gas. And he comes up limping. And now one official is standing at the goal line, and they're having a conference. Harper gets only his 2nd interception of the night. And they are going to bring it back to the 1-yard line.
They're going to mark him on the 1-foot line. This is a great interception. The ball is thrown outside. Willie Gault takes the inside.
The receiver is ruled down by contact after intercepting momentum. It'll be first down from where he caught the ball.
You see Gault go to the inside. Little in and up move like a hook and go. Harper doesn't buy it. Now the ball is thrown outside. He comes over the top, does a fabulous job of not making any type of contact other than incidental on Willie Gault. See, that interception is really a thrower's interception. The ball should have been thrown inside where the receiver was.
And I don't think that ball ought to be spotted at the 1. I think it ought to be in the end zone. His momentum took him in.
No, but his knee hits, Mike. I got to disagree with you. If he was still running, I'd agree. But the fact that his knee was down, just like it would be as a ball carrier,
I'm sorry, you're right.
That's why I'd make that call.
So the Seahawks will take over on the 1-foot line, and they're working on Harper. They are reviewing it upstairs.
See, I think they sort of thought with you.
Following review by the replay official, the play stands. First down.
Well, the crowd doesn't like it, but it's a good call. It's obviously the only thing you can call.
Actually, the 2 instances that we've had replay involved have been very good decisions by the replay officials. The whistle had blown on one earlier, and the knee is down on this one.
So Seattle needs some room to maneuver. John L. gets it out to the 3. Benson's there, Robinson's there, Golick.
Almost in any other situation, if you had the skilled people outside to run fast, this would be a very good time to run that play action, because John L. has done a good job getting maximum protection, hold your backs in, and try and take a shot deep and go for the big 98-yard or 96-yard touchdown pass. I don't think it can happen for Seattle.
Largent goes wide right, the only wideout. And Craig will throw. Dumps it to Williams. Got out to the 9-yard line. They need to make just past the 10 for the first down. Harden made the tackle. Berline on the sideline, and that is the one area that they told us was a problem for the Raiders on offense.
It is, but he has played very well tonight. One pass. Percentages are, if you throw bombs, definitive things can happen. Incompletion, touchdown, interference, interception. There's no gray areas out there. I think the Raiders have to continue to do that. You've got to throw deep to Willie Gault 5 times in a game. He's going to catch 2 of them that are going to help you win. You've got to do it. It scares defense.
Craig with a shotgun on 3rd and 2. Looking for something safe. Chadwick makes the catch at the 18. That will be a first down. Dan Land on the coverage, but Chadwick comes through with his 2nd catch of the night.
We saw Lewis Clark earlier make a reception like this on the post. Does a nice job on hand. This is what Chadwick was brought in for. Good hands, good moves, makes the play. I mean, he fits into the mold of a Seattle receiver. I mean, everybody is, you know, you try and pump out a little large and clone, and you get guys that run good moves, make clutch catches.
Couldn't have a better model. Townsend may have jumped early. Warner got back to the line of scrimmage where he met Howie Long, and now we'll check the flag.
Boy, David Craig is into this. He knows that the Raider front loves to rush upfield, particularly Townsend, so he goes in and he pulls the old hut, hard count. Every now and then, you got to do it, if for no other reason, to slow the defense down.
And they'll get 5 yards out of this one.
Offside. Right side of the defense, 5 yards, still a first down.
When he went hike.
But he didn't use that illegal head bob you were so famous for.
No, I mean, I couldn't say hike like that. I commend him that he can say it without using his head bob.
Williams nailed at the line of scrimmage again. Howie Long.
Now in a football game is when you've got to have your stars play. Now is when the guys that you count on to make big plays have to make them. Howie Long is a guy they count on defense to make big plays. He's starting to make his presence felt.
2nd and 5, no gain after the penalty and 1 carry. 11:38 and counting from Seattle. Nice throw by Craig up to the 33. It's a first down. Lionel Washington made the stop.
David Craig runs all the way out to congratulate him, just to let him know he appreciates the hard work. There they go. They run the horizontal game. Scansey across the field. He's not going to run up the field against him, but if you run him through traffic, perfectly thrown ball. Boy, David Craig putting on a classic David Craig performance when he's hot. 22 for 32, 247 yards and a couple of TDs. Sometimes for a wide receiver, and you just plant and fire, and Scansey's just catching anything in sight, and David Craig knows it. There he is. He goes up the field. Now he's run across the field from Washington before. Now he goes up a little further and really takes a shot in midair, protects himself. If there's one guy who looks exactly like Steve Largent, if you were to change jerseys, you almost couldn't tell him apart. He's been with them so long. He has all of his mannerisms and his clutch catching ability as well.
Scansey does not come out unscathed. McElroy got a shot, and Washington was slow getting up. Everybody paid on that one. Williams as Howie Long strung it out beautifully. Long just stood up Mike Wilson, the right tackle, wouldn't let the play go anywhere. Howie's made 3 big plays in the last.
And you go in the locker room and you look like a football player when it's over. You say, oh, isn't that great? Look, a big fat lip. Gosh, it's great.
You got hit in the head one too many times. Craig again ducks out of trouble. Going for the first down. He's got it out of bounds. For David Craig. He's just been sensational tonight.
That's all you can say. Here's a guy who was booed a couple of weeks ago and benched. Look, he steps up in the pocket. The Raiders continue to bring just 4 to put pressure on him. He sees the open field. He says, hey, there's nobody there. I'm gone. Not only that, I'll get a little bit more.
Well, that pump fake cleared things out, didn't it?
I tell you, all he do is turn inside. He's hit everything. They have to respect him. He should be smiling. That was before he got benched.
Warner cuts back inside to the 28-yard line. Seahawks leading 20-17. 8:47 to go in the game.
I still believe that the Raiders at some point are going to have to commit more people to trying to stop the run. They're going to, and by that as well as stop the run and also put more pressure on David Creighton. You can't turn him loose and let him find escapes. You can't rush just 3 and you can't rush just 4. You got to turn it up right now. The playoffs are at stake right here.
2nd and 6. Seahawks still mathematically alive. A lot of bizarre things have to happen, but first they have to win. Delay, Warner, no place to go. Scott Davis came over to make the tackle, along with Golick.
Davis, another one of those guys that wears the visors. There you see, here come the linebackers. You see Lyndon King get involved. See, there's nowhere for Kurt to go. That's what you want to do, is you want him there, not necessarily to blitz, but to take up a hole that they've been cutting through all evening.
Another great drive. They started at their own 1-foot line. And look at the time they have eaten off this 4th quarter clock. Trying to keep it alive here. 3-man rush. Williams on the little dump off to the 25. Good coverage by McDaniel, just making sure that he did not get the first down. And the Seahawks will have to go for the field goal.
Good job by the Raider defense as well. You know, this was a classic series where the Raiders came up with the play to stop them, to force the field goal attempt, and the Seahawks got their team out of a hole and moved it into position where they're going to be able to score some points.
Johnson, who was hit from 29 and 25, will have to try this one from 43 yards. His long this year is 50. This for a 6-point lead. Largent got the snap down, and Johnson, plenty of distance. That would have been good from 53. 6:44 to go in the game. The Seahawks extend their lead to 6. Dominated this game. They have had 5 scoring drives of 10 plays or more. They've run 68 plays to only 32 for the Raiders. But you look at the scoreboard, the Raiders are down by 6, and they're getting the football. Adams, a yard deep. He'll bring it out to the 23. 24-yard return. The tackle by Joe Kane on Seahawks special teams. We have 6:34 to go in the game. The Raiders trying to qualify as a wild card. On the Raiders sideline, shaking up on kickoff coverage that last time.
Looks like they're checking out his rib area. Took a heck of a shot in the gut.
74-yard scoring drive. They started from their own 1-foot line, took more than 8 minutes off the clock, and Norm Johnson hit a clutch 43-yard field goal to put the Seahawks up by 6, 23-17. Raiders take over at their own 24-yard line. And the dream backfield is in there together. Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen. In the past, Marcus has gone to the fullback spot, never complained about it. Before he was hurt this year, he said, I might not do it this time. Galt, too low. Robinson on the coverage, but Galt was open.
What Berline did that time is he backed out looking to his left, then tried to reset his feet and throw right. He's not nifty enough to do that. He's got to take one side. They're going to be afraid of Galt. Look at Galt. Let him push the defender off and then come back out and make the throw. Make sure of the throw. Now you have to make plays. You got 6:29 left. You got to make plays for your ball club.
Numbers on Berline tonight. Dial. Good catch. Really racked by David Hollis. Going to be a little slow getting up, but another good grab by Dial, and he grabs his ribs. And that's Hollis. There have been some wicked hits tonight.
Nobody's holding anything back. The Raiders know what's at stake, and the Seahawks have played just purely for pride, and they're letting it all hang out on the field tonight. Looks like you got another one of those stingers. We refer to this, it's just, you get hit in the neck or head area or shoulder area. It's just like all kinds of pins and needles, just little explosion all through your body. That's what those stingers are.
3rd and a foot, approaching 6 minutes left in the game. Smith dove and got it on second effort. He was stopped initially. Bo Jackson was his blocker.
Bo did a good job, went in low. Smith did an excellent job, took the hit, still kept his feet, and managed to get the first down. There's Mosbar talking to everybody. Look at the offensive line. Everybody thinks that quarterbacks are the only ones that communicate. There's a whole lot of conversation going on. Great down block. John Giesick with a super block down.
Second half, the Raiders rushing has been non-existent. Smith has 11 yards. Bo Jackson has 3. Fernandez in front of Hunter. Out of bounds. No, inbound. Said he was shoved out. The ruling is he would have come down inbounds, except he was pushed.
Again, here's the speed. No, you don't even see the defender in the picture. There's the catch. Well, he does an excellent job just hanging on to the ball.
Looked like he came down inbounds anyway.
Yeah, really. I mean, the thing about the Raiders, their tight ends and their wide receivers just are great at hand catching. They don't let the ball get to the body very often.
Another first down. Raiders from their own 46. Bo on the delay. Boy, he runs hard. Down to the Seattle 41.
Nesby Glasgow, the strong
Bo
safety.
very unhappy about this.
Well, he doesn't like getting hit. You know, when the cornerbacks come in a little bit late, they know that Bo's going to fight for the extra yard, so they're going to keep on popping him. Nesby Glasgow said when he hits his hot button, there ain't anybody going to catch him.
12 carries, 69 yards. There's the breakdown by quarter. Started off strong, and that was a big run there. Burline to Fernandez. Just tripped up by Robinson. He's so dangerous after the catch.
And we talk about David Craig being in a rhythm. Now what you're getting a chance to see is Steve Burline start to get into a rhythm. They ran the out ball the last time on Patrick Hunter. Now they're going to run the in ball. But look at the distance he's given him. Fernandez is coming out of his break, and Hunter is back 5 yards. Of course, that's what the Seahawks want to do. They just don't want to give up the big play.
Raiders down by 6. Smith. Second effort, dives forward toward the 27-yard line. Joe Nash, the nose man, made the stop. Chuck Knox, a great motivator. When his team was 4-8, really no reason in the world other than professionalism and coaching to keep playing as hard as they play.
And the one thing about him that you can say is consistency. He remains consistent. This is a very new experience for him to have his team be in a losing situation. He said he doesn't like it.
Somebody never lost in Seattle.
Well, somebody asked him if he was burned out. He said, no, I'm just burned up.
2nd and 8. Burline with time, and I'm sure as soon as he let that pass go, he thought, oh, my Lord, what am I doing?
I think what he needed to do was have a receiver be beamed down for that one, because where he threw it, there was nobody in a white shirt. Look at this. Willie's going one way. He says, hey, there's too many people in there. I'm not going. There, couldn't get in there anyway. He'd have to call Scotty and have somebody beam somebody down there, for crying out loud. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I know what I did. Everything's cool.
We have come to third down again. 3rd and 8 from the 27.
Which brings up a thought process for 4th down. Art's got to go for it. They're really in a 2-down area. We're also going to have to call timeout because the 45-second clock has been run down.
2:47 left from Seattle. The Seahawks lead the Raiders by 6. Game Raider football, 3rd and 8. This is what it's all about.
This is the kind of game you want. First of all, it gets you ready for the playoffs. Secondly, if you win, you're in the playoffs. That's the situation that faces the Raiders right now.
Is this 2-down area here? Do you go for it on 4th if you don't make it on 4th?
You have to. There's not enough time to give them a chance to get the ball back. You know that Seattle's going to hold it from you.
The Raiders are in the playoffs. If they win tonight, Seattle would stay alive with a win tonight. They would still need a miracle. Fernandez, first down.
What impressed me more than anything on that play, Mike, is the crowd tries to get into the play. Berline says to his guys, I'm coming up. It's going to be on a quick count. That way nobody can jump off sides and you get a chance to run a play. Fernandez, the big clutch man inside the 20.
That was a nice double move he put on, too, and Berline knows how big that was.
You know, he's going to grow up here in a few years and start to be a starter, and he's not going to have to look to the sidelines to cheer. He's just going to know he's doing a great job.
1st and 10 from the 14. Smith behind Marcus Allen. Boy, nice job by David Wyman, 92. The linebacker shot the gap and made the big hit.
He said simply, everybody, you know, like they talk about Bo, they talk about Marcus. He said Smith is their best back. His opinion, Steve Smith is the best back they have. The other guys are spectacular, but he told me this yesterday. He says he's the best one.
Must mean Steve Smith's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's running in some pretty good company back there. And it's interesting because it's a perspective from an inside linebacker who deals with fullbacks.
Raiders in no hurry. We're approaching the 2-minute warning, and Berline doesn't seem to be interested in getting the play off, and he won't. Of course, this is their shot. They're not going to go for the field goal. So it's obvious the Raiders have figured out they are either going to get the touchdown to win on this series or they're not going to get it. 2 minutes to go from Seattle. Dan and John Saunders will be along with Sports Center right after our telecast. 2 minutes to go in the game. Seattle leading by 6, but the Raiders have the ball at the Seahawk 14-yard line. The Raiders with 2 timeouts left, Seattle with 3.
There's absolutely no question who's in charge of that Raider offense. Steve Berline just giving instructions to everybody. This is what you have to do as a quarterback. You have to explain to them what you're going to do, not only on this down, but on the next one, and what happens if it's a completion, what happens if it's an incompletion. Berline is really, he's impressed me a lot. He's in charge, and there's a very interested spectator.
Remember, the Raiders have used up a lot of time here. Robinson and Hunter were back there with him, but he got a hand on it.
Right side of your screen. Berline looks a little outside, stands tall in the pocket, makes the only throw he can. You know, like I said, you got to have guys make plays for you. Not that it was an easy reception. Of course, Al Davis looking on very intently. Oh, gosh, he knows you got to make those plays.
3rd and 9. The left tackle, Steve Wright, moved early. Rory Graves, who had played at that spot before he hurt an ankle, had moved twice at left tackle.
False start. Number 66 on the offense.
The good thing about that, Mike, is you're penalized back a little bit further, which means that the wide receivers can push the defenders up the field a little bit. There you see Steve Wright lean. Now, Steve Berline, when he got under center that time, didn't take the ball right away. He tried to go with a little longer cadence. He can't do it.
And the point you made early, that was the third time Rufus Porter has faked the start and made the man move.
They got to thank the 12th man here in the Kingdome for that.
3rd and 14. Dump off. Smith only got it back to the 15-yard line. It will be fourth down. And you see Archell, he wants a timeout to talk it over.
I don't think that can be right. I think it's only 3rd down. Well, I'm not. If they accepted the penalty, they made the first down to Fernandez. Then they threw the deep one down the middle, right, to Dial. And then they were called for illegal motion. Oh, I know what it is. Steve Smith got stuffed on first down before we went to the 2-minute warning. That's it. I was missing a play.
You lost me.
I'm missing a play. You know, it happens in the heat of battle. Sometimes that's why you have coaches to remind the quarterbacks.
It's like I believe the story about Sonny Jurgensen, the one time he threw the ball out of bounds to stop the clock, only it was 4th down and they lost the ball.
It happens, trust me.
Even to Sonny.
That's right.
And it is 4th down, 1:33 to go. They only have one timeout left. If they don't make it here, the odds are they will not get the ball back.
That's right. The thing I'd do with Steve Berline right now, I'd move him out of the pocket. He's been stationary all day. What it does is it causes the Seahawks to lose their drop areas if they're in any kind of zone. And if you're in man-to-man coverage, it means that they're going to wind up chasing your receivers across the field. So I'd move him, or if I was him, I'd buy the time to get out of the pocket to try and make a play.
The Raiders trying for another heart stopper like they had last week against Phoenix.
You can't just drop back and try and throw it up the field. Incomplete.
Intended for Fernandez, too high. James Jefferson was right there.
There it is. Fernandez drives him deep, and he just hooks up. Now, he'd have the first down right there. That ball's just too high. There are your teammates on the sidelines. Oh, gosh, did they want that.
And they can see it slipping away. It will be the 7th loss of the season. Los Angeles not out of it at 8-7, but now all the playoff tie-breaking possibilities come into effect. The Seahawks at 7-8, 7 and 8 are still mathematically alive, but you have to tip your hat to the Seahawks for what they have done the last 3 weeks after they were 4 and 8.
And the guy I think you ought to really pat on the back is Dave Craig. Here's a guy, like you say, Mike, who just doesn't get the kind of credit that a Marino or a Montana does. But when you look at the rankings of quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, Dave Craig is up there in the top 4 or 5. And also a guy who deserves an awful lot of credit is Chuck Knox for not allowing his football team to fold his tent up when they had every opportunity to.
This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. And a very disappointing moment for Steve Berline.
And you know, it's going to make him better because he's done a good job tonight. He's done the things he's had to get his team in position. He just made one bad throw, really. If the Raiders get into the playoffs, Berline can look back at this game and say, hey, I learned some lessons. He will be a better leader and a better quarterback for what's happened here tonight. Not that it's going to make him feel any better. I know that feeling. I've been there.
The Raiders cannot stop the clock anymore, and I don't know why the clock is stopped at 1:21. The officials conferring the Raiders are out of timeouts. And now they're going to mark off a penalty against the Raiders, and Chuck says, hey.
5 yards, still second down.
Penalty called against the Raiders, and Chuck says we got to start the clock,
He is
guys.
not loosening up his tennis arm. He's an avid tennis player, but he's not loosening it up. He's saying wind the clock. Then they wind the 30-second clock, but the game clock won't start until the ball is snapped.
Well, that's a real advantage for the defense. They commit an intentional penalty, and they stop the clock, give up the yardage.
Yeah, but the problem is the down. It didn't change.
Yeah.
Say if the down had changed, you'd think it. There you look at the playoffs. Denver's in. They're just waiting for somebody to come to the ski resort called Mile High Stadium.
These are the updated records. Houston and Cleveland, who we have next Saturday night on ESPN. One of those teams will win the AFC Central Division next Saturday night. And here are all the rest of the teams that are still alive, including the Seahawks, although it would take explaining Einstein's theory of relativity in order to get to Seattle making it.
I'll tell you, the one team in there that scares every coach in the AFC is Kansas City.
Some defense.
Okoye got hurt today. Didn't play much, but they're a team who can go. Another one, Pittsburgh. They're making a move. Buffalo, who everybody thought would lock it up, is struggling. And Al Davis just has to sit down for one more week.
Another big win for Chuck Knox, third in a row, and he is going to make his feelings known to the official why the clock wasn't running. He thought it should have been, and he thought this baby should have been over a minute ago. He and Art Shell shake hands. Shell 7-4 now as the head coach of the Raiders. And Chuck Knox literally brought his team back from the dead. Sellout crowd of 65,000 saw an outstanding performance by Seattle. They had a nice halftime lead. The Raiders came back, but Seattle